Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm be looking at a clip from the Jeremy Vine show a few weeks ago. Now, I know this looks like I've copied this exactly from We've Got a Problem. But I'm sorry, this guy's got the only footage I can which won't absolutely arse me up. So I'm apologies for using your content. I will be using a lot of your content. So I'm saying sorry to the guy for using the video clips, because I'm just not able to get these clips anywhere else. So I apologize for that. So, we've got the Jeremy Vine show. Apparently what's going on here is, this was a few weeks ago, before the prologue of Parliament and all that shit happened. The Queen just gave off a little thingy saying you can prologue Parliament for so long, and it was fine. Now he's a dictator now. And with half a fucking brain knows that's not a dictatorship. So, we know that's not happened now. It's a complete disaster. But now let's see what the Jeremy Vine showed. I know Jeremy Vine showed a few times, I've seen a few things, but talk about Brexit here, it's quite interesting. Because we have, funny enough, just one Brexit supporter. Really? Don't know who the rest are supposed to be. But we have James Max, he's a campaigner for Brexit. We have the model Gemma McLean and pop artist of some sort, James McNone? James McNone? Sorry for saying your name wrong. So we'll be looking at this few clips here, see what they're going to say, and see if they're not going to act like a bunch of arses. Let's go and see something.
It's just following our constitution.
So again, you don't think he's a dictator, Holly?
No, I don't, and I think any suggestion is absurd. I think what he's done is exhaust a perfectly legitimate function of our constitution, and as far as I'm concerned, he's behaving like a leader should. He's listening to 17 million people, and people like Jean Miller, Jeremy Corbyn, Owen Jones need to go away and stop throwing their toys out their pram.
Well, when you say go away, you're talking about basically 70% of Parliament, which is, quite a big slab of our democracy, which is, we don't have a written constitution, but that is part of what puts us together as a nation, isn't it? They can't just go away.
So then they should be well informed of the practice of the democratic vote. As your previous caller said, one side wins, one side loses.
James, hang on, we've got a vamp coming in on that.
Speaking about being well informed, but I argue that the people that voted Leave were not well informed, because this situation is not what anybody envisaged or wanted to be. So, I don't know if you can say we need to be more well informed. Maybe we should have been well informed from the start.
But isn't this situation exacerbated by who or what is there?
Hang on, Holly. Wait a minute. Holly has priority here. Holly.
Yeah, sorry. I was just saying. I think Theresa May dragged it out for too long. Boris is the man to get the job done. I think him and Jacob Rees-Mogg are just the most perfect partnership, and they're going to do great things.
Okay, Holly. Thank you.
This is a good bloody start. Right, so Holly for London actually explains the fact that Boris is actually using part of the Constitution, which is actually he's allowed to do that. Parliament has done this before, and Prime Minister is before that have done this as well. And she's also right in saying people like Jeremy Corbyn, and Subri, I think she said, and Owen Jones need to throw their toys out, stop throwing the toys out the buggy. Now I think that's quite funny, because that's all they ever fucking do, these Romoners. But when Jeremy's on about 70% of Parliament, that's what keeps us together, do you fucking forget who's in charge? The people vote the MPs in, and they get a massive paycheck for it. That's how this works, Jeremy. Jesus Christ. Because this is how it works. They're supposed to come in and do what we asked them to do in the first place. So why should there be any change? But there shouldn't be. And it's exactly what Holly said. They need to be kicked out. If they can't accept what's going on, well, somebody needs to tell them how to do their job properly. Because if you know anything about debate, if you lose the debate in Parliament, you've lost. I don't know about you, but that means you fucking lost there. Men, whatever you want to call yourself. And then we get this. Amazing fucking Romoner line from James. The fact that people didn't know what they were voting for, I am so sick of hearing that line. It's like, I didn't know what I was voting for. You fucking did. Abdi got a pamphlet through their door saying, this is what's gonna happen if you vote deal. If you're going to vote for the referendum, if you're gonna go leave or remain. Everyone knew what the fuck they were voting for. Yeah, no one maybe expected it to go this bad, but nobody expected the Remainers to go this far insane for this to happen. Because you know they wanted this to happen. They wanted to cause chaos. Theresa May was a Remainer in the first place. She was wanting the chaos. She wasn't even going to leave the 29th of March. You know, even the Chancellor told businesses not to do that. So it's like, don't prepare to leave. It's like, don't just dinner play that card at all. Because it's stupid. It is really immature and stupid. And also she says the thing about Boris and Jacob Rees-Mogg being the best for this situation, which is actually to be proving the case for now. Because as soon as Jacob got the house, as he's the member of the House of Commons, I think that's how he is. He's actually doing his job properly and telling folk, like, this is what it is, this is what it is, and doing amazing pictures on the internet. Let's keep going.
We're going to speak to Dawn now from Bristol, who thinks Boris is just being very divisive.
Dawn, you think he's, I don't know if you want to say the word dictator, but divisive, you reckon?
No, I don't think he's a dictator as yet. I think he has been very divisive. I think there's a few points that the panel, some have got and some haven't. James annoys me. Sorry, James, but you do.
No, well, they got two, James.
The referendum was advisory.
I think
so. What's that? Dawn, are you telling me that I annoy you?
Yes, you do,
two of us, Dawn, I'm with you.
Oh, this is good news, Dawn, because the thing is, you see, you voted to remain, I bet, didn't you?
I did, but I respect the result. The trouble
you don't. You don't.
Can I just say, Jeremy, there's always this thing about Ramoners. No, there is a very big difference of respecting the result, but actually the result.
Like you're Ramoning to me, Dawn. Ramon! That's what's happening here, Dawn.
Okay, that's just to be clear. That's James Mack speaking, and not me. In case you thought I'd suddenly turned into a ghost. But Dawn, I don't know where to go with this. What do you think, Dawn? Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that. This thing about it being advisory, we were told if we vote for it, it happens. I think that's nonsense.
So we just got an answer from Dawn in Bristol. Now, as just James points out very clearly, yeah, she's a fucking Romoner. I have to say, that's really fucking hilarious. That's why I wanted to make this video, because that is really funny. It's like, the moon! That's just hilarious. I have to say that, because, Dawn, I'm sorry. I mean, every Brexiteer knows the Remainers and the Ramoners don't want this to happen. You lost the vote, 70.4 million, bet your 16 points, so what? And you still lost. And it's so funny, this half the drama that goes nowadays is better than Netflix. But, so what are they on about? They're on about it being divisive, right? They're very divisive. Boris isn't being divisive. It's the fucking Ramoners in Parliament and the public and the activists who are going out there and telling folk what they should be thinking. Going back to that thing about people that didn't know what they're thinking. Yeah, if you listen to the folk that said that, yeah, that would make a lot of sense if it was true. I'll tell them more calm in this video compared to the other one. So, it's amazing how when he shouts Lamone, and it just he just cuts off because it's like, you're owned. I'm sorry, you have just been pointed out, clear as day, shot out for the ducks and nothing else. And you see the audience actually enjoys that as well. It's fucking hilarious. Telling you, Lamone!
Well, Boris Johnson will have expected, maybe even wanted, fury from his political opponents at Westminster. But something else happened yesterday. Thousands of people took to the streets and more protests are planned today. So you can see them there. This is almost a flash protest because they would have known nothing about the proroguing of Parliament until, well, basically when we were on air yesterday. A petition set up almost immediately after the Prime Minister's announcement aimed at getting him to think again has attracted more than 1 million signatures in less than 24 hours. Did you sign it? Or would you not be seen dead signing it? The country's so divided you can almost imagine this leading to...
So you're thinking a petition's gonna start unrest, civil unrest. Are we watching Children of Men right now? We are not children of fucking men. That is a good movie, by the way. But, wow, Jeremy Vine, really, you're gonna pull that card out? A petition means jack shit, Jeremy. I'm sorry, that doesn't mean anything. But anyone who actually thinks petitions do anything, they don't. Even the governmental ones don't do anything. Yeah, the government ones are supposed to be acted in after so many signatures. Even though there are millions of signatures, it doesn't really make any fucking difference, because it's like, yeah, I say a million signatures, let's have babies, and then not have babies. It's like ban them, ban and have them. Imagine there was like 1 million people each time did that. It'd be crazy. Probably the worst example, but it's still there. But the absolute uproar? Really? Civil unrest? I'm sorry. I think there would be more civil unrest than there already is. I mean, Brexit was a massive eye-opener to a lot of folk to what the hell the country actually was. If we stop Brexit, goodbye democracy, goodbye this country, it's all going to go complete shite. I mean, we don't have enough bobbies as it is. But, oh me, it'd be 10 times more chaotic than anyone would have thought. I mean, they're on about how bad the no-deal Brexit would be. At least there's plans for that. At least the army can get involved, the police can get involved, the people have supply routes, there's medicine stored in warehouses, food supplies are there, that made sure there's not a massive crash out at the docks. Yeah, that rule is scary. Like, there's actually things prepared that nobody talks about because it's government official business. People, let's go on before this becomes civil unrest.
Civil unrest.
Well, Jeremy thinks this pathetic petition will lead to civil unrest. I am doubtful for a few reasons. First, we already know Twitter activists are signing it multiple times, so the numbers will be smaller. By how much, we will likely never know. 2. The Queen prorogues Parliament, not the government, so petitioning the government is pointless considering the Queen has already stated Parliament will be prorogued between the 9th and 12th of September. But third, and most importantly, the protesters are a bunch of soy boys and rich college girls who don't know their arsehole from their earroll. It's hardly going to be something the police are going to struggle with, is it? These soy-consuming weaklings are not a threat, let's be honest.
So you're thinking a petition's gonna start unrest, civil unrest. Are we watching Children of Men right now? We are not children of fucking men. That is a good movie, by the way. But, wow, Jeremy Vine, really, you're gonna pull that card out? A petition means jack shit, Jeremy. I'm sorry, that doesn't mean anything. But anyone who actually thinks petitions do anything, they don't. Even the governmental ones don't do anything. Yeah, the government ones are supposed to be acted in after so many signatures. Even though there are millions of signatures, it doesn't really make any fucking difference, because it's like, yeah, I say 1 million signatures, let's have babies, and then not have babies. It's like ban them, have them, ban and have them. Imagine there was like 1 million people each time did that. It'd be crazy. Probably the worst example, but it's still there. But the absolute uproar? Really? Civil unrest? I'm sorry. I think there would be more civil unrest than there already is. I mean, Brexit was a massive eye-opener to a lot of folk to what the hell the country actually was. To actually, if we stop Brexit, goodbye democracy, goodbye this country, it's all going to go complete shite. I mean, we don't have enough bobbies as it is. But, oh me, it'd be 10 times more chaotic than anyone would have thought. I mean, they're on about how bad the no-deal Brexit would be. At least there's plans for that. At least the army can get involved, the police can get involved, the people have supply routes, there's medicine stored in warehouses, food supplies are there, that make sure there's not a massive crash out at the docks. Yeah, that rule is scary. Like, there's actually things prepared that nobody talks about because it's government official business. People, let's go on before this becomes civil unrest.
Boris Johnson will have been expecting complaints from Jeremy Corbyn and John Bercow and so on. But protests and petitions are different, aren't they? They come from the real anger of real people. So should he say today, wait, I'm looking at those pictures of those protests and I'm going to rethink and pause on this? Or are actually the protests and the petitions pointless because the government's in charge and this is what they're doing? James is already, you're falling asleep during the protests. You're not even interested.
No, because it's the same old people protesting. It's Owen Jones, who's the Katie Hopkins from the left, just getting all excited.
It's not any celebs. It's nobody we know in this. People.
He was identified on the news as having organised
Actually,
protest.
saying that's Barbara Want, who's been a guest on this show. So yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's all the same old people. And look, I understand if you voted to remain, I understand why you might be cross and why you might want to try and stop it. I get it. But the point is that there are a lot of people who voted to remain, but more voted to leave. And if you go down that route, then we've voted to leave as a nation. Let's get on with it. It's this prevarication and this objection and blocking that is allowing our European friends to think that there is a little bit of light between, do we have to go back and renegotiate? No, because there are enough people there who will stop the process.
OK.
I just exactly said the same thing. They are going to kind of ignore it anyway, aren't they? Because it's probably pointless. And as I didn't really mention it, I didn't think about there, but James has pointed out, it's the same old damn people. It's the same Remainers, the same people. They all moan, and if you forget, there is a lot of people, like James said, that voted for Remain, but there was more for Leave. So you had to point it. And I actually like how Jeremy actually gets corrected. It must have been over the headset or something, saying, oh, it's all just normal people, and then he realised, oh, he was on that show. Whoa, that fucked up, ain't it? Yeah, that didn't go very well for you, did it? But it's really obvious when you got people like that moaning all the time. It's all the same people. Owen Jones, Jeremy Corbyn, Nicola Sturgeon, Ian Blackburn. It's all the same folk, because they think, hey, we better keep that connection with Europe, because we're going to lose it. We know why Scotland wants it. Technically, we all don't want it, but it's really stupid. It's sad. It's pathetic. Let's keep going. I've had enough.
So just going back to the really worrying thing here, we have a country that's basically 50-50, and one side lost the referendum, and one side or the other will lose. It might not be the same side, right? Something's going to happen, and 50% of people are going to be cheesed off. Now, are we grown up enough as a country not to go down the route of the Hong Kong situation, of riots, of civil unrest? Because, Nicola, there's a real worry here, isn't there?
I don't think it will go down the lines of the Hong Kong. Please don't give me that anxiety as well with all of this. No, okay, I don't think as a country we'll do that. But yes, we are going to have a lot of unhappy people. But I think that we can protest, and protest like we seen yesterday fairly.
There's one argument that says the biggest danger to civil order is if the people who won the referendum get robbed. So in other words, the lot who are going to be angriest is if we cancel it. We cancel Brexit. Is that right, James?
Here we go. Jeremy about the worrying if it's going to be so bad it's going to end up being the Hong Kong situation. It's not going to be the Hong Kong situation, because the Hong Kong situation is a completely different matter. The Hong Kong situation is something to do with people getting arrested for being in a different place for going against the Chinese government. This is Brexit for leaving the European Union. I highly doubt people are going to be arrested, mate. Probably got that along somewhere in the middle, but Jesus Christ. No. If there's anything that's going to happen, he's right. The people are going to be more cheesed off would be the actual people who voted for Brexit and then get told, hey, you're not having Brexit anymore. That's why a bunch of Brexiteers were going a bit off when the general election was mentioned and all that. So whether it's going to happen next, we don't fucking know. But I would say if we're not allowed to do Brexit, people are not going to be happy. We won't be the proper Brexiteers that we're supposed to be. The ones that supporting for Britain and moving on will be just as bad as the left. But I hope we don't get that far. See what James has to say.
I think, again, we're looking into the future, and I think one of the big problems that we've had throughout this whole discussion and about this whole debate since that referendum result is that we are really bad as a nation at looking into the future. We're not very good at looking beyond our noses. So we haven't been able to predict, and we haven't also been able to see how uncertainty causes problems. And I think it's also very difficult to predict who would be more angry, because I think at the moment, those who voted to remain are very, very angry. You listen to the rhetoric that comes from, whether it's Jeremy Corbyn or Nicola Sturgeon, all these people, seasoned politicians, even John Bercow, who's supposed to be, but we know that they come from a remain standpoint. And they're going to be angry. So looking into the future, very difficult to see, but I agree with you. If Remain then won the day, I think arguably those who voted to leave will be more angry.
Yeah, okay, Storm calls.
So James isn't going to really tell us the answer that everyone wants to hear. And I think me and we've got a problem, both agree on the same point about this. Now I'm not saying I'm copying him at all on this bit, but people are going to be very, very pissed off. Now, the fact that the Remainers do actually, like James said, they have big heads like Nicola Sturgeon and all that. They all were the Remainers for a start. Yeah, they're going to be annoyed, but they're annoyed anyway because 17.4 million people voted away from what they wanted. This is why they keep saying Scotland voted Remain, but there's actually 1 million people difference between what you say and what you know. Because I'm for Scotland. It's kind of annoying to hear that every time, but there are people going to protest. I mean, if there's anyone that's going to go absolutely shit nuts, is the Brexiteers not getting Brexit. Because, we had 3 years doing this. We've been waiting for this for 3 years. And then we can finally get on doing other stuff like the food banks or whatever the hell you want to do. I didn't even want to make videos about politics, but then Brexit came along and now I'm making videos about politics. It's actually insane about when these guys are saying it's hard to look into the future. Yeah, because Brits are stubborn. As much as you like to say you're English, Welsh or Northern Irish or Scottish, you're British. No matter what you say, it's just being part of your heritage. Right. And it's like, well, it's true. We have a very, very bad thing about looking ahead. I bet the people in 1939 and they were getting bombed didn't think, hey, we're actually going to invade Europe, take down the Nazis. What happened there? World War II. The Russians came in, rammed into Berlin and won the war. We were over there too with the Americans and Canadians. It worked, didn't it? We're very stubborn in our own ways, but the thing is, that's how we win most things. So, what I think about this, it's not too bad. This is my second time trying to make a little bit serious about content like this. Sorry for using the we've got problems content, but I'm going to be using this more often because he's the only guy that's got the actual videos for it. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to be down here, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you get more content, because I am really wanting to talk more about Brexit, because I've got more channels and more videos to make, because I don't want to talk about this all the time. I want to make sure you guys are in on what I want to think. Thank you, and see you again on the next one.